Hi and welcome. Let's talk about The Hobbit. And by The Hobbit, I'm referring to Bilbo Baggins. And also the book The Hobbit by Tolkien. And spoilers for The Hobbit. Although if you haven't read it by now, you're probably not planning on it, so whatever. Spoilers. I very recently read The Hobbit again. I've read it so many times, it's become one of those comfort reads. I consider it a cozy book. The Shire and Middle-earth are just a familiar place to return to. And I really identify with Bilbo. Bilbo resonates with me. Hobbits in general live for the simple pleasures of life. Good food, good drink, time spent with friends, walks in the forest. Bilbo specifically really loves maps. I happen to have a huge tapestry of Middle-earth on that wall over there. Hobbits also really appreciate nature. They like flowers and trees and tending to their gardens, but nothing too strenuous or adventurous. And hobbits are a species of homebodies. There have been generations of hobbits who are born, live their lives, and die in the same land. The Shire is home. In fact, most of the other peoples in Middle-earth don't know that hobbits exist. And once in a while, a black sheep is born. A hobbit who wants to know what's off the edges of their little homey maps. A hobbit who maybe dreams of mountains and dragons and adventures. They're usually of Took lineage. Not much comes of those dreams though. They might listen to stories and dream of what the outside world is like, but it's very inconvenient to go on an adventure. It's a lot of work to pack up and leave home and go do something different. Hobbits love comfort. They are comfortable at home, and having to leave home is uncomfortable. And here we have Bilbo. At 50 years old, he has been completely content with his simple hobbit life. Until now. Not that he's been getting discontented, but this old wizard shows up at his door and he gets roped into an adventure that he didn't plan on or really choose. It came to him. Bilbo certainly did not go looking for adventure. He was not thinking of leaving home. He might have looked at his maps and thought, I wonder what's out there, but he wasn't gonna go. The adventure had to come to him and grab onto him and forcefully uproot him from the Shire and take him. And as these dwarves are showing up in his home and telling him that they are hiring him for this job that he has no experience in, he has a huge internal battle. The dwarves sing their songs and tell their stories. They have a cool map, which Bilbo likes, and it's a map of things he's never seen before, things far from his home, and things start to stir within little Bilbo, things that have been dormant for a long time, his whole life. The Took side is waking up. Now, they get to the part where they're talking about the dangers, the possibility of death and never coming home at all, and he has a bit of a freak out, basically a panic attack. And this is not to be unexpected, but the dwarves don't feel very confident in this little burglar that Gandalf supposedly recommends when he's laying there having a panic attack, and they haven't even left yet. There's been no danger yet. But he has never had to confront real danger before. What's the most dangerous thing a hobbit has to face in the Shire? A spider bite while gardening? Burning their tongue because they couldn't wait for their food to cool down? A hangover from too much ale? I think that the biggest struggle for Bilbo happened in his own home before he even left. Because once he gets on the road and he's facing real dangers, there are decisions to make, actions he has to do. He has to fight to survive. He has to fight to save friends and companions. But at home, there's nothing to fight against. There's just the feeling of danger. But he pulls himself together, and now he feels like he has something to prove. The thought that they might not want him on their journey makes him feel like he wants to prove them wrong. He will be good at the job, and he puts on his businesslike manner and wants to talk about fair compensation for his troubles. And after this huge life-changing thing, he goes to bed, wakes up, and the dwarfs are gone. And he has some interestingly conflicted emotions about the fact that they left and he's still there. One, he feels relief. It would have been so inconvenient, a lot of work, having to pack up and leave home for a long time. Now he doesn't have to go. But he also feels weirdly disappointed. Although he never planned on leaving home, this was like his one chance. It was being offered to him. He was going to have to face things he's never even thought of before. He was going to get paid fairly, but any little bits of dreams he might have had of leaving the Shire left without him. He hadn't really wanted to. He would have gone if they were still there. It's fine, but they still left without him. But then there's Gandalf, and he just rushes him out the door. No time to pack, no time to think. He just runs off to catch up with the dwarves without even time to grab a handkerchief. And Bilbo gets to go on his adventure. And at first he thinks adventures are great. Nice weather, riding through the countryside. That's the type of adventure a hobbit likes. But the real adventures start when everything starts going wrong. Trolls, orcs, elves, wargs, eagles, dark forest. And it's through all those misadventures, all the hard things, that Bilbo comes to prove his quality. He goes from never having faced any real danger to now having great confidence in himself. And not just he himself learning to have confidence in himself, the dwarves are learning to have confidence in him. They're learning to trust him. They are learning that this little Bilbo can handle stuff. Now, because they're coming to count on him and learning that he can handle things, that means they think he should have to handle things, which means they have somebody to blame if something goes wrong. The dwarves would never have made it without Bilbo. They know it, Gandalf knows it, and now Bilbo himself knows it. Gandalf chose wisely. If you have watched the Hobbit movies, there is this really cheesy line right before they go into Mirkwood where Bilbo wants to confess that he found the ring, but he chickens out from that and instead tells Gandalf, "I found my courage." It sounded really cheesy in the movie, but over the course of this book, it is the truth. He does find his courage. He had it within himself the whole time. He never would have found it in the Shire. Not only that, he gained honor among dwarfs and men and elves and wizards and eagles and bears. What am I missing? He gains riches. He gains a deeper understanding of himself, and he gains a new appreciation of the thing he always loved in the first place, which was his home. He also gained a new piece of jewelry that's kind of a big deal, but that comes more into the next story. And Bilbo is such a good example. If Bilbo can face a literal dragon, what can we face? So, The Hobbit, one of my favorite books of all time. What is one of your favorites? Let me know. You can follow me on Instagram. The link is in the description for this video, and subscribe for more fantasy and bookish content like this. And I'll see you next time. Bye.